Auditing, technical and ethical professional standards or as per standards as per the peer review. And so the technical and professional and ethical standard means the accounting standard issued by the ICA are prescribed and notified by the central government of India. So the every ICA notification should be um, published in the Gazette. Second point, standards are issued by the Institute of Chartered Account of India, including engagement standards, statements, guidance note, standards of internal controls, statement on quality control, notification, direction, announcement, guidance, and pronouncement, professional standards issued by the time to by the council as well and or its committees. Framework of the preparation presentation of financial statement. The framework of statements standard of accounting, framework of standard and standard of accounting, standard of assurance engagement and standard on quality control guidance note related to the issue service issued by ICA. These all things has been issued by the ICAI. Provision of various relevant statutes and regulations which are applicable to the contents of specific engagement, including reviewed instruction, guidance, notification, direction issued by the regulatory bodies are covered in the scope of assurance engagement. What is assurance? Assurance service does not include management, consultancy management. Whatever we do for management does not include representation before various authority, income tax authority, GST, other councils. This is not include engagement to prepare tax returns or advising clients on taxation matters does not include engagement for the compliances of financial statement does not include engagement solely for assist the client in preparing, compiling, and polluting information other than the financial statement. Testifying on the expert witness does not include provision expert opinion on the points of principles and accounting standards and applicable to certain laws on the basis of the fact provided by the client and engagement of due diligence. These are the things doesn't include. Write a short note on the following. Scope of the peer review. The scope of peer review answer. What's peer review? Peer review is usually done um, by the peer review. You have some quality that is to be checked. Who's going to check? Other auditor going to come and check it out. We need to go how is going to the process happen. You need to apply to the ICA. ICA will appoint someone and they will inform you are going to come. They will ask you the clients, what are the clients or documents you are you going to show for peer review, and they will select this and these things we're going to see. They will say it previously and they're going to come and they're going to check it whether the all the audit documentation properly there as per the standard of auditing you have followed everything. They will see and they will give a certificate peer review and what level certificate this or this level, second level, third level, they will give a star rating and they will go. Scope of peer review. A statement of peer review lays down the scope of review of conduct. The peer review process is directed at the assurance services in the practical unit. When the practicing unit is selected for the review, it's attestation engagement, recording pertaining to the immediate preceding three completed financial years. Reviews focus on the technical and compliance with technical standards and compliance with ethical standards. So technical and ethical standards they will see and compliance with professional standards, quality of reporting system and procedures with regarding to compliance of assurance and services, training programs of staffs, including articles and audit assistants concerned with the assurance functions, including appropriate infrastructure and compliance with the direction guidance issued by the council of members, including fees to be charged, number of audit undertaken, register of audit assurance engagement conducted during the year, and other related records. Complaints with the directions or guidance issued by the council relating to the article assistance or assigned assistance, including attendance register, work diaries, stipend payments, such other related records. These are the things to be seen. Then, so area to be reviewed in the assessment of independence of a practicing unit while recording the peer review. What are the area to be reviewed? First thing, we have the IC has given how much audit we're going to take. That audit we should check. So that second thing, we will see all the income tax audits we do now. For every audit, we come to conclusion. For the conclusion, we need to have working papers. Third thing, I see with as per the guidance, we need to follow ethicals. All the ethics has been followed properly. If we have engaged in article assistance, whether the salary is been paid as per the provision, the salary is been paid. Every provision is to be seen. So what are the areas to be reviewed? So these are samples. For the following area to be reviewed in assessment of independent of practicing unit. Does a practicing unit have a policy to ensure independence? Independence is assurance, objective and integrity, the farming but of partners and staff. Who is responsible for this policy? Does a practicing unit communicate with the policies and expected standards and professional behavior to all the staffs? This to be followed, this not to be followed. The rules has been uh, told and taught to the article staffs. Does the practicing unit monitoring compliance with the policies and procedures relating to independence? Does the practicing unit periodically review the practicing unit association who with clients to ensure objectivity and independence? Yeah, they maybe go to the client office whether the independence is there or it being spoiled. So area not to examine in peer review, that is a different thing. Because previously said now we don't peer review go and see for normal income tax attestation service wherever not there we don't see that area for stock or area which is been out of accounting how we done how we books of account how we maintain income tax what filed for non-audit cases they won't see peer review. um, their compliance services which doesn't comes under the attestation functions like bank audit report bank reports internal audit reports. These and other comes under the peer review. What are the area excluded from the scope of peer review? The area excluded from the scope of peer review are management, consultancy, engagement. Then representation before various authority, income tax authority, GST, they won't come. Engagement in preparation of income tax, advisory, client and taxation matter, they will come. Engagement, complaints with financial statement, complaints with financial following in DES properly, and notes to account preparation. These are things. Engagement solely to assist the client in preparing, compiling, and collating with information other than financial statements. They want to prepare an stock statement. They want to prepare and loan statement. They want to go through the task list, credit task list. That's not come. Testifying expert witness. Court has asked to testify them. That is not come. Providing expert opinion in points of principle as accounting standards, ability to certain laws and basis of fact provided by the client. And they may you can give opinion. Newspaper they will give opinion. Books they can give opinion. They can expert opinion. Some clients may come and they ask, "What is this, sir? How do we are applying this provision? What is the GST rate? We need to see such a questions. They need to that and all doesn't comes in the scope of your review. Engagement of due diligence. Due diligence we do. They won't ask for due diligence and all. They won't come. Explain the stepwise approach adopted by the peer reviewer. The reviewer should gain understanding. First, what will do? What is the engagement he will do? They will come before coming. They will see, sir, step-wise procedure. You are going to an audit. First, what engagement letter. Then that engagement letter you have agreed to it. Third thing, your audit working papers. That is plan. What as per the plan? What is the worksheet you have? And what are the employees is going to the audit now? And their working papers joint communication to the those who charge of the governance or communication with the company how what is queries what do I what the reply they got and what is outstanding queries what has been that sheet queries raised queries answers solved and what is the pending queries that sheet they will ask then after what they will ask you will come to a conclusion what are the audit documentation for the conclusion evidence what you collected how the permanent working papers temporary working papers are maintained and how long you having the working papers and then teaching to employees what have you taught how that you accounted it how did you teach them how the information from their partners managing partners informed to the to your article assistants and associates, how you have been communicating to them, what is the source you have, and how you check their independence, how they are independent, everything you'll be seeing. Reviewer should gain an understanding of engagement letter. So since then, assurance engagement or the matter of any kind of engagement should be begin with the engagement letter. Engagement letter is important. Our document is defined in the nature and scope of the engagement, assurance engagement. The practicing unit responsible with the regarding of the engagement understanding would be help them to planning the review of documentation. The reviewer should focus on the review primarily on the key engagement matters. Reviewer should also consider the materiality in the matter while planning the review. Number two, number of assurance engagements to be selected requires the exercise of judgment of the reviewer based on the evaluation of the replies given by the questionnaires. They will ask questions and the size of the practicing unit. The objective is to obtain the reasonable cross section of the practicing unit clients, although greater weight may given to the large clients. The practicing unit may have policies and procedure to accepting a particular engagement. These policies and procedure may not exist in the form of records in each practicing unit. In such a case, the reviewer must consider inquiring from the concerned members about such policy and procedure. Which client we can take, which client should not take. Using where the client is being taken at that time, did you have the proper time and proper resource to do it, and whether we can solve all these criteria we should see before taking a client. Reviewer should, whether possible, examine the policies and procedure for accepting an audit, having complied with the necessary documentation regarding the same exist. A reviewer must follow the combination of compliance procedure and sensitive procedure throughout the peer review process. Mix of compliance or substantial procedure depends upon the professional judgment of the reviewer. The elements of skill, elements of experience, elements of independence of the reviewer are ensured before initiating the peer review process. In this above, light state the few eligibility criteria fixed for a person to be empaneled and also being appointed as a peer reviewer. First point, who can be peer reviewer? Chartered accountant can be a peer reviewer. He should have a minimum experience. How much? As per the ICA notification that become 5 years, 10 years experience they should have. And that kind of experience, FCA can only be appointed by the ICA to review into the matters. Right. The element and skill and experience of the independent reviewers are ensured before initiating them in the peer review process. Because of this, important to determine the eligibility criteria fixed for a person to the impaneled and appointed as a peer reviewer. The following are the eligibility criteria. The peer review shall have at least 7 years of experience in practice. It is the peer reviews and chartered accountant practice in chartered accountant should have undergone the requisite training or prescribed by the board should furnish declaration as a present prescription by the board at the time of accepting the peer review account. Should have signed the declaration of confidentiality as per the prescribed by board. Should have conducted audit of level 1 entries for at least 7 years and eligible for conducting peer review for level 1 entries as the para 2 of the statement. They should have conducted audit for the level 1 entities for at least 7 years and be eligible for conducting peer review of a level 1 entities as they refer to para 2 of the statement. Okay, they should have 7 years experience merely and they should have done the audit and they should be compared with the peer review to become peer review auditor. For being a reviewer, member should not have disciplinary action or proceeding against him. Disciplinary action would not be there. Being found guilty in the council or disciplinary board or committee of any time. Or being convicted by a competent court, whether within or outside the India, or offences include moral turpitude, punishable with the transportation or imprisonment. Any obligation or conflict of interest in the practicing unit or its partner person have conflict and they can be a reviewer. A reviewer shall not accept any professional assignment from the practicing unit for a period of 2 years from the date of appointment. Now, going to the work, they can't be accepted any practical professional assignment from them. If they accept it, they are not, they can't be eligible for the appointment. These are the rules. Disciplinary action, what is the qualification? 7 years experience, and they can be disciplinary. Guilty should not be, complaint code they should not, offenses should not be there, and obligation to this all thing should be there. Hmm. What are the objectives of the peer review? The objective of the peer review. Objective as a peer review, what is it? They're going to see whether they have followed the standard of auditing, whether they have followed the rules and regulation issued by the ICAI, whether they are doing the audit as and you getting all the audit documentation, whether they are preserving the audit documentation properly, whether the all this is within the plan and procedure by the principal of an audit firm for auditing. So everything should be systematically be involved. There should be no chaos. That's the main objective. The objective of peer review is to ensure that carrying out of assurance service assignment measure and the member of institute comply with technical, professional, ethical standard applicable, including other regulatory requirements thereto. Have a place, proper system, including documentation and ample demonstrate the quality of assurance services. As primary objective peer review is not find out deficiency to, but to improve the quality of service rendered by the members of the profession. A statement of peer reviews also make it clear that the peer review does not seek or redefine the scope and authority of a technical standard specified by the council, but to seek to enforce them within the parameter prescribed by the technical standards. The peer review is directed towards the maintenance as well as the enhancement of quality assurance service and to provide guidance to the members to improve the performance and adherence to services. Adherence to various statutory and regulatory requirements, such as the objective of the peer review process to make it ample clear that the reviewer is not going to sit on judgment of the practicing unit while rendering assurance service, but to evaluate the procedure followed by the practicing unit in rendering such services. According to this practicing unit is not following technical standards, the reviewer are expected to recommend measure to improve the procedure. Elaborate further, the key objective of peer review exercise is not to identify isolated case of engagement failure, but to identify the weakness and that are pervasive and chronic in nature. For instance, the absence of formal planning of an audit represent a serious deficiencies that need to be remedied by the practicing unit. For instance, the auditor is not carrying out physical verification of furniture fitting may not attract the same comment. However, the certain terms of assets are best verified through physical verification process and not adopting the same procedure may rightly to review by systematic failure. Conclusion. Therefore, it is to peer review seek to identify and address the patterns of non-compliance with the quality control standards. So the answer of this is the peer review is to find the deficiency in the process what we do, not the mistakes what we have done. So it helps us to improve ourselves. So after the peer review, we will come to conclusion we have done this wrong, so we should not do it, and improve ourselves and increase the quality of service we do. Mainly that is the main objective. What are the inherent limitation of the peer review? Inherent limitation means it can't able to do all the audits review, only few things, and that's the main thing. The reviewer conducts a review in accordance with the statement as peer review. The review could not necessarily disclose all weaknesses in the complaints of technical standards and maintain the quality of assurance. Since it would be based on selective test, yeah, as there is an inherent limitation of effectiveness of any system of quality control, which happens to be subject matter of review. Departure from the system may occur and may not be detected. Yeah, it doesn't mean can't do 100% audit. That's the main problem in it. CA Manoj is appointed as a peer review of UV Associates Chartered Accountant firm consists of 18 partners. As a practicing unit, what is the obligation that ought to be complained by the MSUV Associates in addition to furnishing the questionnaire, statement, and such other particulars of the board deemed fit? So, in addition to furnishing questionnaire, like statement, and answers such as particulars of the board may deem fit. So, what they asking is, okay. UV Associates is a practicing unit answer. In addition to the prescribed information, to furnish the information including questionnaires, statements, and such the in particulars that board may deem fit, so shall comply with the following procedure. Produce to the reviewer and allow access to all records, all documents, and all prescribed register maintained by the practicing unit. Any other records and documents which is the class or described as recipient, which is the possession or under the control of practicing unit. Provide the reviewer such explanation, further particulars, information, and respect of anything produced. In compliance with the requirement under the subclass 2, reviewer shall specify. Provide the reviewer all assistance in connection with the peer review. Where information or a matter relevant to the practicing unit is recorded otherwise than an legible form, where the information matter relevant to the practicing unit is recorded otherwise than a legible form. The practicing unit shall provide and present the reviewer a reproduction of such information or matter, other relevant part of a legal form. So when information or matter relevant to practicing unit is recorded, otherwise than a eligible form, it's recorded somewhere not recorded in the eligible form. Practicing unit shall provide present the reviewer a reproduction of such information or matter or the relevant part of the legalized form, which is a translation in English or Hindi if the matter as any other language. If this language is requested for the reviewer, practicing unit shall be responsible for accountable for the accuracy and truthfulness of the translation are provided. Then illustrate the power of the quality review board and discharging the functions. How the quality control board may proceed in case it's not receive the information and called by it from any company. The government of India has exercised the power of control by the clause F and G of the subsection 2 of section 29A and with read by section 28C of subsection 1 of 28D of Chartered Accountant Act 49. 38 of 1949, our central government has made chartered accountant the procedure to meeting and quality review board rules 2006. To facilitate the discharge of the function, Rule 6 opposite the rules provided on its own through any specialized arrangement set up under the institute, evaluate the review of the quality of the work and services provided by the members of the institute, such manner as may decide. Lay down the procedure of evaluation criteria, evaluating the further various services being provided by the member of institute and elect in such a matter and form it may decide. And individual firms are rendering such services for review. Call for information from the institute, call for information from the council, call for information from the committees, call for information of the members, clients of the members or other persons of the organization, such forms and manner as it may decide. Any may also give hearing for them, provided that when the board decide not to receive the information from by it or the members of the institute, the board may decide to institute the obtain information from the member and further the same to the board, further furnish to the same to the board. Provided further that where the board does not receive the information called in by it from any company registered under the Companies Act 1956 and now 2013, the board may request the central government in the Ministry of Corporate Affairs for assistance obtaining the information. Invite the experts to provide expert and technical advice or opinion on analysis of any matter or issue with the board and may feel relevant for the purpose of assigning the quality of work and services offered by the members of the institute. And make recommendation to the council code to guide the members of the institute to provide the professional competence and qualification and quality of work and service offered by the adherence to various statutory and other regulatory requirements and any other matter related to that too. Good Luck Limited grants 180 share option to each of its 690 employees. So each grant contains condition of the employee working for Good Luck over 4 years. Good Luck Limited has a November 2nd, 2020 estimated that the fair value is 15. Luck had an estimate that 30% employee will leave during the 4 year period. Hence, they forfeit their rights to the share option. If the above conditions are correct, the amount of expense to be recognized during the vesting period. So 180 share option value is 15. So they consider also 70% will leave, estimate 30% will leave, 70%. So we see that 690 employees, 180 option, 70 percentage of 15 by 4. So it is 309, same 396, 396 all the year. Accumulated 13 lakhs for 1404, 126. Yeah, because every year they're going to third now. One year it's going to third. We can put not by one by fourth. We can put completely for every year. That's all, because every year the same thing. 70%, 70%, 70%. Because 30% going to leave compulsorily. We know that. So 70% is more than enough. This competition can be done. The total amount of expenses to be recognized during the 4 year vesting is 13 lakh 0400. 690 into 180 into 1 by 4. 180 on that 1 by 4 into 70 percentage of 15 rupees. 15 rupees vesting. That is expense. Every year same expense is going to incur. Cumulative going to add. MP Associates, a partnership firm of chartered accountant, which was established for 7 years back. The firm is getting new clients and has also been offered new engagement service with the existing clients. The firm is concerned about obtaining some information as considered necessary to circumstances before accepting any engagement with the new clients. Acceptance of new engagement with an existing client. The firm is looking to work with only selected clients to adhere the quality control standards, guides MP associate, but the matters considered regarding with the integrity of the client as per the requirement of SQ standard of quality control. First point, whatever the client who come, if we have that sufficient knowledge, sufficient experience, we have sufficient staff, sufficient time to do it, and the rules and regulation given by the management is favorable for us, and there is no restriction to do complete the audit. They have the independence of our members is not been spoiled. In this case we can accept the audit, and the fees what we decide should be suitable for us, even though fees is much less, but the quality should never be deteriorated. So, IMP Associate is concerned about the obtaining some information as it considered necessary for circumstances before accepting an engagement on new client and acceptance of a new engagement with the existing client. The firm is looking to work with only selected clients and adheres to quality control standards. As per the requirement of SQZ1, the following matters to be considered with regarding the integrity of the client. Identify the business and reputation of the clients, principal owners, and key management, related parties, and those charged with governance, and nature of the client's operations, including business practices, information concerning the attitude, that is what client sufficient knowledge, information concerning attitude of the client, principal, independence, and key management, those charged with the governance, and towards such matters of aggressive interpretation of accounting standards and internal control, how they have the policy and procedures. Whether the client is aggressively concerned with the maintaining then firm's fees as low as possible, how fees they're going to give, indicate appropriate limitation and scope of work, how they're going to implement, indication of the clients might be involved in money laundering, any illegal activities or criminal activities, reason for proposed appointment of the firm, of non-reappointment of previous firm, why the previous firm is coming on doing the audit, extent of the knowledge of the firm will have regarding the integrity of the client, will generally grow into the context of the new ongoing relationship with this client. Then MPC and Co. Chartered Accountants is a subsidiary auditor of various categories of companies and body corporate to exercise the power confined to the subsection 2 and 4 of the section 132 Companies Act 2013. Central government made a National Financial Reporting Authority Rules 2018, NFRA Rules, MCA Notification 13 2018. The audit firm seeks your guidance on the applicability of the criteria of the companies on the corporate companies on the body corporates and covered by NFRA National Financial Reporting Rules. As per the NFRA rules, shall have power to monitor and ensure the compliance with according standard of auditing. So, what is NFRA? National Financial Reporting Authority. What do they see that whether all the audit documentation is being collected. Second thing, financial reporting, what they report, all the events and transactions being properly accounted, and computation. Example, PF computation. PF is these employees, this much employees should be there for pay eligibility, whether they have followed. If not, the report is given. A bonus, this much percentage computation of bonus is whether proper or not. Whether when the profit is also not there, bonus to be computed based upon the central reserve, whether profit that such computation correct or not, what the management has done it, is there any misstatement in the management computation, whether the auditor has noted it out and given in the audit report, if not, why. That's the questions that is arise because something should be done properly. Schedule 3 properly complained. How this loan has been long term to short term based upon the maturity and short term to long term based upon the time. Everything should be done properly. Accounting statement, NDAs, accounting standards properly accounted. Every schedule, every clause, every accounting standard is pakka. If not, they will intervene, they will punish you. And the account standard and auditing standards oversees the quality of service under the subsection 2 of 132 of of the company side undertake an investigation under subsection 4 of the section of auditors of the class of companies and body corporate companies whose securities are listed on the stock exchange in India outside India, unlisted public company having a paid up capital not less than 500 crores or having annual turnover not less than 1000 crores or having aggregate outstanding loans but debentures or deposits not less than for 500 crores. They will NFR will apply. Then insurance company, banking company, company engaged in generation of supply of electricity, companies governed by the special act of time being a force of body corporate incorporated in the act of B, C, D, E, F of section 14 of the Companies Act. Any body corporate, a company or person or any class of body corporate or person relevant to the NFRA of central government or public authority. They will have and any body corporate or registered outside India, which is subsidiary associated company or company or body corporate incorporated or registered in India, refer to A&D above the income or net worth of in the income or net worth of the subsidiary or associated with the exceeding 20 percentage of the consolidated income or consolidated net worth of such company of the body corporate. Then, as the case may be referred to A into A to B, everything. Because if you have 20 percentage of the total net worth of the holding, then it's a subsidiary. It is in body corporate is a subsidiary associate. You have sufficient interest over it. That's what they said. Then you should follow all the rules. Follow the you are the interested party. Then you should give what you should give. You should give a listed company you having subsidiary instant interest. Now you should provide some consolidated financial statement. That's a problem. NK Co. Chartered Accountant was appointed by the statutory auditor of Fresh Juice Limited financial year, and the previous year audit was conducted by the LP Associate Different. From after the audit was completed, the report was submitted. It was found that the closing balances of the last financial year 18-19 was incorrectly brought forward. It is found that the NK and Co. did not apply any audit procedure to ensure the correct opening balance and have brought forward the current period. Accordingly, complaint was filed against the NK and Co relating to the matter. You are required to inform that policies are required to be implemented by NK and Co. For the dealing of such complaint, an allegation required by the standard of quality control. So whose mistake it is? NK LP is no, but NK has done problem. No? They audit of accounting balance, standard of auditing, review of account. There is a separate section, separate audit procedure is there. Audit of accounting opening balance. That is the thing. So that should be maintained. Those standard of quality control. The quality control of firm that's perform audit and review of historic financial information other assurance relevant service engagement. Firm should establish policy and procedure designed to provide reasonable assurance to deploy deal appropriately with complaints and allegations that work performed by the firms and fail to comply with the professional standards and regulatory and legal requirement. Allegation for non-compete with the firm system and quality control. Complaints and allegations which do not include those that is clearly frivolous any originate from within or outside the firm. They may be made by the firm personal clients and other client for other parties. They may be received by the engagement team members or other firm personals. Apart from the process, the firm established clear defined channels of firm personnel to raise any concern in the matter that enables them to come forward without any fear of reprisal. The firm investigates such a complaint and allegation in accordance with the policies and established policy and procedure. The investigation is supervised by the partner with sufficient appropriate experience and authority with the firm, but not in the accord otherwise, including engagement, including involving legal counselry necessary. Okay. The firm of the sole practitioner may use the service of suitable qualified external person or other firm to carry out the investigation and complaint and allegation and the responses to them to be documented. Properly to document what is the problem. When the results of investigation indicate deficiency in the design and operation of the firm's quality control policies and procedures and non-compliance with the firm's system to quality control by the individual, the firm may take appropriate action. Okay. CAS has been appointed as a peer review of Shivam and Co. LLP. Shivam and Co. LLP submitted the list of assurance and due diligence service of the peer review. CA is in process in deciding as how many assurance service could be reviewed. CAS is deciding number of assurance service engagement to be reviewed. Peer review doesn't count due diligence first. Only list of assurance only is given. The number of assurance service engagement to be reviewed shall be depend upon standard of quality control prevailing. How is it under control? Size and nature of assurance service engagement undertaken by the practicing unit. What is the turnover? How much work to be taken? Methodology generally adopted by the practicing unit to provide assurance. What is the methodology you have done? The number of partners, members involved in assurance service engagement. Big firm, now number of the sample size be increased. When the firm is small size, sample size may decrease. Number of location, branch office and branch unit. How many location, how many audits you have taken. Fees charged, received and service tax paid by the practicing unit. So that all different service tax paid, location, partners, what is the methodology, what is size and assurance engagement undertaken, and what is the standard of quality which you follow. These are the things to be considered.